Welcome to the LexIslamica video course series brought to you by the Advanced Legal Studies Institute, Islamabad. This course, Islamic Jurisprudence, is the first course of the series. If you haven't seen the introductory video to the course, it is advisable that you do so to get a better idea of the structure and nature of the course. The link for the introductory video has been given in the description below. This video, Quran as a Source of Islamic Law, is the sixth video of the course. Let's begin. This second video about the Quran describes the Quran as a source of law. The first part of the video therefore deals with this topic, while the second part deals with the nature of legal rules in the Quran. Introduction to the Quran as a source of Islamic law. The Quran is the foundation of the Islamic legal system and also for every other system within the Islamic civilization. It is the Quran that has enabled the Islamic legal system to survive and play its role for more than 1400 years. It appears it is destined to play a much more powerful role in the future when the Muslim population will be in a majority in the world. Note, the words Al-Quran and Al-Kitab are used in the same meaning. Quran as a source of law. The implications of the Quran being a source of Islamic law. Accepting the Quran as a source of law is a tenet of faith. Accepting the Quran as a source of law and a primary source at that does not fall within the domain of the legal system. It falls within the domain of the tenets of faith or Aqidah. This issue is therefore discussed in Ilmul Kalam. The entire Ummah agreed that the Quran is the primary source for the ahkam of Allah. This means that there is Ijma or consensus with respect to this decision, which makes it binding upon all Muslims. It is binding on the jurist to follow it for the discovery of laws. It is therefore binding upon the jurist to have recourse to the Quran and to rely upon it for the discovery of the law in each case that he faces. It is a basic assumption that the Quran provides expressly or by implication for each issue that we may face. The jurists agreed that a person seeking will find each case provided for in the Quran either expressly or by implication, that is through derivation, istinbat. In approaching the Quran for the derivation of laws, the jurist is also under an obligation to have recourse to its commentary and explanation, which is the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him. All other sources are secondary to the Quran. Considering the Quran as the primary source means that all other sources are secondary to it. Even their legal validity and justification as sources is derived from the Quran. This means that the justification of the Sunnah, Ijma, and Qiyas as sources is derived from the Quran. The Quran laid down the entire methodology for the implementation of Islamic law. The Prophet, peace be upon him, supervised the arrangement of the surahs and verses himself. The process of arrangement and then the recording of revelation was discussed in the previous video. The Quran was revealed gradually, not only to facilitate memorization by the companions, God be pleased with them, but also for implementing the law in stages. It was this methodology that planted the law firmly for the Ummah. The clearest example of laying down the law in phases is the case of the prohibition of khamr or wine. This does not mean that today we should say that Islamic law should be implemented gradually in a Muslim country like Pakistan, for example. The reason is that the law was completed and finally laid down in the first period of the companions. There are certain Muslims who maintain that proper social conditions must be created before Islamic law can be implemented. This is a bogus claim because the same can be said about all secular law as well. The implementation of the law in stages gave rise to abrogating and the abrogated verses. We will explain the meaning of abrogation or naskh in the next video. The Quran provides legal validity to other primary sources. The pivotal role of the Quran can be seen in the fact that it not only provides legal rules for the legal system, but also identifies and approves other primary sources of law through which further rules are determined and derived. Justification for the legal validity of the Sunnah. The Quran clearly declares the authority of the Sunnah in many verses. We can mention only a few here. Thus the Quran says, "He does not speak of his own whim. It is indeed a revelation that has been sent to him." Quran 53:3 and 4. The verse indicates that what the Prophet, peace be upon him, says about legal rules is also revelation. The following of the Sunnah is linked with faith in the verse. But no, by thy Lord, they can have no real faith until they make thee judge in all disputes between them. Quran 4:65. Until they make thee judge in all disputes between them today means following the law in the Sunnah. Justification for the legal validity of Ijma. The Quran and the Sunnah together provide justification for the legal validity of Ijma as a primary source of law. The majority of the jurists argue on the basis of the verses and traditions to emphasize this. Justification for the legal validity of Qiyas. The Quran and the Sunnah together provide justification for the legal validity of Qiyas as a source of law. The Quran says, "Consider then, O ye with eyes." Quran 59:2. The verse asks those with eyes, intellect, to consider things, compare them, and ponder over them. Diagrammatical depiction of the Quran as a source. The diagram shows what we have said in the previous few slides. The next 4 slides deal with the nature of legal rules in the Quran. The kinds of legislation, legal rules in the Quran. The legal rules laid down by the Quran are fundamental to the Islamic legal system. They are in the nature of broad general principles and also in the form of specific rules. There are approximately 600 verses in the Quran that indicate the ahkam of Islamic law. Over 400 of these pertain to the ibadat, and the remaining to crimes, personal law, and other muamalat. The laws are classified as follows. Ahkam pertaining to acts of worship. This category is called the category of ibadat. The purpose of these rules is to establish the relationship of the individual with his creator. Rules of conduct, words, and acts of the subject that apply to worldly transactions. This category covers the entire field of public and private law. It is called muamalat. It regulates the relationship of individuals among themselves, the relationship of individuals with states, and the relationship of the Islamic State with non-Muslim states. We are using the word state in the Western sense of the term. Scholars may disagree about what the term means in Islamic law. The viewer might want to substitute the word ummah or the community for state. The Quran lays down fundamental general principles and detailed legal rules. The Quran lays down many general principles. Some of the details of these principles are in the Quran, but mostly in the Sunnah. It may also happen that details are given in the Quran, but the Sunnah gathers them into a principle. The principles in the Quran are extremely powerful and have given rise to many detailed rules in different categories of the law. These rules are in addition to many other powerful rules that deal with the rise and fall of nations and with general morality. The example of a principle in the Quran is that of the prohibition of riba, which gives rise to a large number of specific rules. Another principle is the consumption of the property of people through unlawful means. It gives rise to the rules of unjustified enrichment. Legal strength and indication of the rules in the Quran. The laws in the Quran are qati, definitive, with respect to transmission, as we have emphasized in a previous video. This is the strongest type of text. In addition to this, the Quran is the first primary source. The laws in the Quran will therefore have precedence over other sources. It should not be assumed, however, that the laws in the other sources become non-existent in the face of the laws of the Quran. Laws in the other sources do not cease to exist. In case of conflict, there are detailed methods of reconciliation of conflicting rules. The Sunnah can restrict the meanings in the Quran, and according to the Hanafi school, in certain cases the Sunnah has abrogated the laws in the Quran. As already stated, abrogation will be dealt with in the next video. And here we have a diagrammatical depiction of the nature of laws in the Quran. Thank you.